So at this time, I'm going to turn the stage over to Mayor Steve Hogan. And while he's getting seated up there, let me share a little bit of information about Mayor Hogan. He's been our mayor since 2011. When he ran, the Denver Post endorsed him as a man with a reputation as a problem solver and a capable manager. The fact that no one has stepped up to take him on would indicate that this description has proven to be true. He's running unopposed. Prior to being mayor, Mr. Hogan was a city council member for 6 terms. Although they weren't consecutive terms, he served our city as a council member for 6 terms. He was also a state representative in the House of Representatives for the state of Colorado. He's proven to be a good listener for the concerns of Heritage Eagle Bend and Metro District 2, and he has certainly been there any time that we called upon him. So let's give a warm welcome to Mayor Steve Hogan.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Again, my name is Steve Hogan, and while I may be unopposed, I still am here to ask for your vote for re-election as mayor of the city of Aurora. It's very, very humbling and a great honor to be mayor of this fantastic city. It has been more than interesting the last 4 years. Bob Room talked about some of the things most recently, but certainly we've had our share of ups and downs over this last 4 years. And for the benefit of all of us, these last couple of years have been just really fantastic. You have this evening a number of other really, really good candidates for Ward 6 and for the at-large positions that you are going to hear from. So I'm not going to give a big, long-winded speech. Rather, I'll just say a couple of things. I will answer some questions. And if it turns out that I take less than 15 minutes, that just leaves time for the other candidates that are here looking for your vote and are looking for you to make a choice. I would like to make sure that I mention, and there are some cards in the back of the table, we do have a city ballot issue. It's called 2J, and I endorse that wholeheartedly. But it's not only the mayor who is endorsing it. It had unanimous support from the Aurora City Council, the Chamber of Commerce, Aurora Economic Development, and Visit Aurora. It is a very simple charter change amendment. About 20 years ago, there was a group from Colorado Springs who came up here and inserted themselves in our city elections and convinced the voters to put a prohibition in the city charter, not just an ordinance, but a prohibition in the city charter that prohibited the city from working with any entity at any time who might have interest in establishing a racetrack, a car racetrack in the city of Aurora. Now, the only discussion that was going on at that time was the potential for a racetrack several miles east of here and north of here, out by Front Range Airport. But because these interests had their own racetrack, south of Colorado Springs and north of Pueblo, they didn't want competition. It sounds an awful lot like what we've been going through recently with the Gaylord Hotel. Only with the Gaylord Hotel, it was Denver hotel interests that didn't want competition from the Gaylord Hotel in Aurora. Well, these guys didn't want potential competition from Aurora. And so as a result, they put together, in all candor, a really good campaign and convince the citizens of Aurora to put a prohibition in our charter. 2J simply removes that prohibition. It allows the city to talk to somebody who comes and says they would like to consider putting a racetrack and an entertainment district in the city of Aurora. And candidly, the only place it could go in the city of Aurora is, again, out toward Front Range Airport. So it's not the kind of thing that's going to be in anybody's backyard. So I would urge you, please, no matter what you do with the rest of the candidates, please vote yes on 2J. You can even sacrifice your vote for me as mayor. Vote yes on 2J. As I said, it's very humbling. It is an honor to be your mayor. I've done everything that I can do for the last 4 years to represent what I think are your best interests, not only on the city council, but in the rest of the metropolitan area. Advocating for the Gaylord Hotel, for the Fitzsimmons Redevelopment Authority, for the construction of light rail, the construction of commuter rail, protection of Buckley Air Force Base, good shopping, no matter what part of the city that you're in, and doing everything that I can to make the city of Aurora recognized as not only the great city it is, but a city that is influential in this metropolitan area. We have worked hard to get out the word that sometimes people aren't aware. We are the safest big city in Colorado. The safest big city in Colorado. We are one of the 20 safest big cities in the United States of America. And that's not just because we say so. That's because others put us on that list. And we worked hard to stay there. We are a big city, no longer a suburb. I could rattle off all the names of the cities that we are larger than, and you would recognize every one of them. And some of them you'd wonder, gee, are we really? Well, yes, we are really. We are a big city, and we have a bright, promising future in front of us. And I would like your vote to be mayor for 4 more years. So with that, I will open it up to any questions that you might have.
We did have, well, before I start with the questions, just as a sidebar, it was interesting to me. How many of you have driven I-70 coming back to Colorado or coming from Colorado through the Kansas City area? Have you seen that big racetrack entity that's on I-70 in Overland Park or somewhere in one of those cities in there? That's the racetrack that was coming here if in fact that initiative would not have been defeated a few years ago. I'm told, and you can correct me, Mayor, if I'm wrong, but I'm told that that is now the largest tourist entity in the state of Colorado. The hotels that have been developed, the water park, Kansas, thank you, not Colorado. It's the largest entertainment entity in the state of Kansas, and all the things that have been built up around that. So, although there's nothing on the drawing boards, and we were supposed to have some people here from the Economic Development Council this evening, please take a good look at that 2J. Now, several of you have submitted candidate questions this evening, and we've woven those into the questions that we're going to be asking the Ward 6 and at-large candidates. We only have one question that's been pre-submitted to the mayor. So if others of you have questions after he answers this one, then we can field those up to our 15-minute time limit. Here's the question, Mr. Mayor. It says, what is that large water tower-looking object located on the southeast corner of E470 and Smoky Hill Roads by Southland? Why is it above ground if it's a water tower? And who approved that new construction?
Well, I'll answer the last question first. The City Council approved that new construction. The water tower is actually a project of the South Metro Water District. And it is designed to make the Prairie Waters project even more successful than it is. And for those who don't know what the Prairie Waters Project is, Bob Room touched on it, but essentially it's our water saving bank, not only for Aurora, but for the South Metro area. Everybody but Aurora sucks water out of the ground. We don't do that. We use our water that comes down from the mountains, and we own more than we use. But what we have found is that if we pump that water back through the Prairie Waters Project and use it for park irrigation, golf course irrigation, other kinds of reuses, we can use that water over and over and over. We can also sell it to other entities, and it has the net result of keeping your water rates lower. It doesn't make them go away, and it never will. It just makes the increases less. In order to make that system work, the high point in the system needed a pressure valve. That tank is the pressure valve. And while I agree it's not the most attractive thing in the world, in the end, I think that council decided that it was better to put that in and make the Prairie Water system work.
Results of education of the children in Aurora. Do you have anything to comment about that? What have you done?
Well, the first thing is, Aurora is different than Denver. Of course, in Denver, every student in Denver goes to Denver Public Schools. In Aurora, we have at least 4 different school districts. Some would say 5. And that story this morning was only about one of those school districts. Obviously, it's an important school district. It's Aurora Public Schools. But it's not about every school district or every school in our city. And in Aurora, the school districts are run by each independent school board. They aren't under the control of the city council. In fact, there's very little influence that the city council has over what happens in the school districts. I think it's fair to say that all of us are interested in trying to make the situation with Aurora Public Schools better. But what I will tell you is that kind of story is only part of the story. For example, nowhere in that story did you read, and nowhere else have you heard, that the single best public school, P8, single best public school in the state of Colorado is Vision Quest in Aurora Public Schools. That's the single best school in the state of Colorado. So the whole Aurora Public School system is not in trouble. They do need help. They do have a lot of work. Those who are on the school board are doing everything that they can. It's not just a money situation. And they will continue to work through, and we will continue to try to help them. But please don't accept everything that you read in a newspaper story as gospel. Oftentimes, it's less than half of the real story.
Hi, I'm Linda McKeon. My husband Ed and I have lived here for 5 months. And the ball in the sky that you see, for us, it's been like a beacon. We're not from here. It's like close to home. When we see the ball, we know we're almost home.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
That's okay.
Oh.
She's talking about the radar ball up there east of...
Oh, the radar ball, go talk to the FAA.
Now, one thing just to add in, Mayor, to your comment around Aurora Public Schools, what that article said, which was certainly sad when it said 5.5 out of 10 graduate high school. Just to put it in perspective as to how things can get slanted, do you recognize that the graduation rate in the city of Denver is 4.5, less than half? But once again, they came to Aurora to put the bad news out. Any other questions for the mayor? Okay, at this time,
Well, thank you
we're
very
going to shift. Okay, last question, and we've got to shift. Okay, question, can I hear you?
Yeah, you'll be able to hear me. Can you give me or give us an update as to how the Gaylord project is coming along?
The Gaylord project is alive, well, and will open for business in 2018. That hotel is not going anywhere other than up out of the ground. And again, for those who aren't fully aware of the impact of the Gaylord Hotel, 1,500 hotel rooms, almost 450,000 square feet of conference space, and a system that involves the other Gaylord hotels in the country that will bring business here from literally around the country and around the world. And instead of going to downtown Denver, they will be staying in Aurora, Colorado.
Okay.